You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
In the immortal words of the gracious Hannah Montana, and I quote, Kadeem, you are in no words. Hold on, 2 seconds. Yeah. Kadeem, you are in no state to do a podcast, but here I am, Charlie Touche with the victory visor. The Dolphins win 34-19. Charlie, how are you?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, and official affiliates of Fanatics, where you could be a fanatic of your favorite franchise. Notice how I had to take off the victory visor so the fanatic part came through unfiltered. You feel me?
Yeah. Charlie, I apologize for my, at this point, 45-minute lateness. To all the fans, I have been having a great time at the Hippodrome Casino with a bunch of Dolphin fans. I have drunk so much. I got home and even Hannah was like, Kadeem, you cannot record in this state. But here we are, live on YouTube. And it's going to be the greatest episode of all time because, yeah, like, shout out to Tim Caro. It says, fins up, guys. Easy for you to say, Cads. Charlie, I've had so, like, again, I got my hat on, I got my jacket on, I got my trainers on. Charlie, I am not ready for this episode. But the Dolphins win. We are 4-6. What did you make of the game?
I mean, it was slow motion for us. Like, you would like to just see us put bad teams away. Like, they throw it up, we shoot them down. But it took us a while to get to where we wanted to be. At the end of the day, a win is a win. Man, bro, it's different to be this team that's not this juggernaut of an offense, and everybody's playing us different. So if it's going to take 20 plays a drive for us to score, then it's going to take 20 plays a drive to score. And just like Tim Carroll just said, defense is an issue. I agree. I'm not I told you so person. But Kadeem over here already with the I disagree, bro. What you made of it?
Like, okay, the problem. Why is defense an issue? They gave up their first touchdown in 6 or 7 quarters. And okay, the Raiders scored 2 touchdowns, but at any point was anyone worried that the Raiders were going to win this game? No. So the defense gives up 2 touchdowns. That's just the NFL 101. They're getting up touchdowns on a weekly basis. There's not much you can really do about it. But why? Okay, so I guess I would flip the question. Why is the defense an issue? Why?
Shout out to Tim Carroll or Caro. I don't know what's the
Caro. Tim Caro.
Hey, he says slow, control the clock, control the game, love it. But D needs to wake the F up. Listen, Kadeem, this is why. You just said at no point did we think the Raiders was going to win the game. You're right. And at no point did I think we were going to lose the game against the Cardinals. But guess what? We lost the game against the Cardinals, and the offense gave the defense the ball, the field up with the lead.
No, don't do this. Don't do this.
Yeah,
don't do this.
So here we
are.
are.
Raiders. This is Dolphins v Raiders review. Forget the Cardinals. Forget the Bills. This is Cardinals. So why is the defense an issue against the Raiders? Forget Cardinals. Forget Bills week 2. Forget the Bills the previous week. Why is the defense an issue in week 11? Go.
Listen, my dog is saucy right now.
Kadeem,
yeah, saucy over there. You feel me? Listen, at the end of the day, bro, the defense doesn't make like they don't put foots on necks. They don't put the foot on the neck of people. And I need someone to put a foot on the neck. And that's what I need my defense to do when the offense gives you a lead.
Okay, so I understand and I hear that, but again, it's so my issue with the defense, and again, the defense wasn't perfect. They gave Brock Bowers too much time, too much, like he was open too much, and I understand that. I will give you that. Outside of that, the defense in any NFL game, any NFL defense is going to give up a touchdown. So the defense giving up a touchdown or not putting their foot on their neck. Listen, it's not the source that I've had today. I'm just like, we're asking the defense to be something which you only see in a NFL Madden game. Things extra, I've got that smoke. Anything else, no. Like, just no.
So the Miami Dolphins win 34-19. We defeat the Las Vegas Raiders. And just like Kadeem said, Brock Bowers went off. But what I'm saying and what the comments are saying, and we're going to celebrate the victory, but since Kadeem is on the sauce, we gotta give it to him. if Brock Bowers is giving you the work, at what point do you make the adjustment? You got a whole halftime to make the adjustment because he's been doing it to you all game. So now you got to make that adjustment and say, we're not having this no more. And then the score wouldn't be 19. It'll be 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, but no, that's not what happened. And it's just saying we are not making the adjustments when we need to make the adjustments. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Who's got that final touchdown?
For who?
For the Raiders.
Was it not Brock Bowers?
It was not Brock Bowers.
Oh, it was yeah. All right, go ahead. Who was it?
It was the Raiders touchdowns came to Bowers had one and Amir Abdullah had the other one.
Yeah, Amir Abdullah, that's who it was.
So we're sitting here going, stop Brock Bowers, and Bowers had the first touchdown, cool, fair enough. Amir Abdullah had the second one, Kadeko who made the tackle. That's
made
the
tackle.
Yeah,
sloppy, super sloppy too.
And that is super sloppy. That is super sloppy, and I'll put that on the defense as a whole. But we're sitting here going, stop Brock Bowers, and he had. So I'm looking at the stats: 13 receptions, 126 yards.
Oh, I know.
Wait. And I will agree. Shout out to Robert Ashton, Dom, and Paul. We watched the game at the Hippodrome Casino, and I was saying, yo, at some point, have Jalen Ramsey or Javon Holland on Brock Bowers and take him out of the game. I will 100% agree with you. Take Brock Bowers out of the game. But the last touchdown wasn't Brock Bowers. So if we're going to sit here and say, stop Brock Bowers, the last touchdown wasn't on Brock Bowers. So again, tell me how the defense could do anything more.
I got to look at this 31 points that I'm playing against Brock Bowers in fantasy football every time I open it up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel a little bit of weight. And I don't like being the podcast where we celebrate a win with a victory visor and then we argue about the Dolphins not being good. So I'm going to turn the page and say, all right, maybe the defense isn't what I want them to be. And Kadeem is going to argue for his unit. But at the same time, I do believe we have to be better when we play teams like Green Bay coming up pretty soon because I'm already skipping the Patriots and I'm skipping the paper planes. But even against the paper planes, we can't blow it because I ain't gonna lie, paper planes might not even be playing nobody by the time we get to them. So who knows? But we got some games that we have to win, and you can't be playing around. You can't be playing with your food when you're playing the Raiders. You want to get off the field. You don't want people to get injured during these games. Smoke them in the first quarter, in the first half. Bench everybody later. That's what I would prefer. That's all I'm saying.
So again, I will agree. Shout out to the comments. So Tim Carroll says D is an issue. While we are having the lead, Mike stays with the run, all good. Against a team who isn't terrible, we will fall behind, get so happy, and we'll take a spanking. Shout out to Robert Ashton. He's been going pillar to post, offensive defense. Like me and Robert Ashton all night been drinking like back to back. We have been, so if I'm on the source, tell Robert Ashton, shout out to Robert. He says against a team Robert Ashton says So brother got involved in Bills Chief game. Defense kept the Raiders in the game. Tim Carroll says maybe the unlucky Campbell headbutt in the punter's foot. If he had that 3 and out, maybe the D would have been better. Robert says Finn didn't make the adjustments, and then Tim adds was a tight end game. Gentleman offers well over 100 yards. Just to get back to the Tim, so defense starts the game, gets a 3 and out. That Calais Campbell roughing the kicker. I don't know what he could do about that. Like the kicker, the punter's foot hit Calais Campbell in the helmet. Like to me, that's not a penalty, but they gave it. Is what it is. But as I said from the start, and I will stick through this through the entire game. To me, this wasn't a bad defense game. It was just a typical NFL defense. You gave up 2 touchdowns. I don't hate it. Like if we're asking the defense to play to a unrealistic Madden expectation, then at that point, any touchdown you give up is going to be a how can they get that touchdown? Like,
Hey, how we feeling about Tua right now, Kadeem, and his ball security?
oh, that's an issue. And I said so. I think. Let me try and find this stat. So positive. This was the first game of the Mike McDaniel era where Miami neither punted nor turned the ball over. But it's like something stupid, like 21 turnovers in the past 25 games. Something stupid like that. Yo, Tua, protect the ball. It is getting at this point. Anyone who says Tua can't look after the ball, I can't argue with you because it's turnover after turnover. That's it. Stop. It is interception or fumble. Like it is non-stop. You can't argue with that. The promising sign is that the Dolphins get the ball back, but no, it is 100% an issue. Yeah.
Hey, so it's crazy. You know what? It just dawned on me. Everyone who said Tua doesn't extend plays and he has to extend plays, right? Turns out Tua is extending plays and we're benefiting from it, but we're getting more reckless with the ball. And it's funny because that's what a quarterback does who extends plays. They open themselves up to opportunities to lose the ball. And if you look at some of these quarterbacks, we'll talk about Josh Allen since he's on the TV right now. He's the turnover machine. So it's funny that we're here because we want to people want the quarterback that can extend plays, and then he extends the plays, but then he has ball security issues like the other quarterbacks that extend plays with ball security issues. So y'all asked for it, we got it. I ain't gonna lie, Tua does look good extending these plays though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, he's getting out the pocket or he's finding ways to move around the pocket. And then, we get a chunk gain out of it. I love that part. I just don't love the part where you just don't want them to get hit. So it's unfortunate that we have arrived here because I just want my quarterback to get the ball out. You know what I'm saying, bro? Get the ball out. I feel like if we play on time, we should be all right. But Tua is not on some, forget what everybody else thinking, bro. Like, I'm going to extend these plays. If I take a hit, I take a hit. And that's what he's on. And it's pretty admirable, but you don't love it if you're a fan or the front office. I guarantee you that.
No, I think the issue, and if you're listening on Spotify, you haven't seen me put the quote marks in. The issue with Tua is that when he's extending these plays, he is loose with the ball. So again, I've never played a down in my life, but Tua, left hand, ball in his left hand, one hand only. It's very easy to slap the ball out, and that's what teams are doing. So the fumble he had this week was trying to extend the play but not securing the ball. And the benefit is that these fumbles are coming against bad teams. So the Dolphins are getting the ball back. But in the playoffs, you aren't getting that ball back because the defense is better than what we played in the last few weeks. So no, that is an issue. Tim Carroll says this is a bad Raiders team. We should not let them hang around. To me, they didn't hang around as much, but I can
Nah,
understand where
they
you're coming
hung
from.
around. They definitely hung
No,
around.
no, they hung around,
They
but that's
they
what I
hung
said.
around.
As much, like again, they hung around, but at no point we was like, "Oh, I'm worried the Dolphins were going to lose."
One
Like,
score game in the fourth quarter is hanging around.
but like, we said earlier in the podcast, at any point, would you worry the Dolphins were going to lose?
I thought we weren't talking about the past. Listen, one score
No,
game,
no.
these boys hung around.
Hold on,
Actually,
Charlie.
you know what?
No.
I had a split second where I was like, these boys better not blow it. As a matter of fact, the pick of the week covered. Dolphins minus 3.5 or -3, it covered. And that's what I was thinking about. I was like, yo, it's a fourth quarter. They better cover my 3. You know what I'm saying? So I actually did worry about it for a second, Kadeem. So yeah, I did. I did worry about it.
Hold on. So at no point did you think the Dolphins were going to lose the game, but you also thought that the Reds were hanging around.
No, I did think that the Raiders were hanging around, and I did have a thought of the Dolphins better not lose this game. I did think it. It wasn't that big of a thought or heavy of a thought, but I did think, yo, this game is not secured, and they better not let these boys come back. I did think that.
But then what I would say to you is that was me against the Rams, where I was like, hey, like this is too close for comfort. But I didn't think the Dolphins would lose against the Rams. It was so I was worried against the Rams because of what I saw against the Titans. But I wasn't worried that the Dolphins were going to lose. And today I wasn't worried that the Dolphins were going to lose, but I was also like, so yeah, I guess I would agree. The Dolphins need to be up, 2 scores in the first half, and I can understand where you're coming from, but the Dolphins were in control for 60 minutes. They just haven't found a way to, truly lean on a man and kill a team off. And I will agree with that.
Yeah, so you already agree, so I don't have to ask you my next question. I'll just make it a statement now. No one wants the Dolphins to be in a game in the fourth quarter where it doesn't feel like they're gonna lose at all. The other team is still in the picture, and then you mess around and lose a key piece to an injury because you couldn't put this game away earlier. Like, no one wants that, and that's what you fear, because you should be putting your neck on teams like this. Here's my London thing. We move on. So look, we move on. Kadeem, Broncos take care of Atlanta, and Broncos are
Is that game finished?
Yeah, it just finished. Like it was like they try to return the 70 that we put on them. They try to put it on Atlanta.
Oh yeah,
38-6. Hold on. Oh yeah, 38-6. Denver wins 38-6, and the Colts improve and keep their little playoff lead on us. And they beat the Paper Planes. Paper Planes about to dial it in. They're about to be grounded for the rest of the season. And then you have Cincinnati tonight. Cincinnati plays. Who Cincinnati play? The Chargers. Cincinnati plays the Chargers. So everybody in front of us in this playoff race, in this game, someone has to lose. How are we feeling about this playoff race right now, and knowing that we have some games that we could win coming up?
So we had this discussion in the Dolphins UK group chat where we were like, who do you want to win, the Bills or the Chiefs? Sorry. And I can understand the Chiefs are undefeated. They're still, at the time of recording, about 8 minutes left, and we're going, you want the Bills to win because it ends the Chiefs' undefeated season, but you kind of want the Chiefs to win because if the Bills mess around and start losing games and the Dolphins come back into it, they win the AFC East. So listen, the Falcons had one job, beat the Broncos. They failed spectacularly in that. And then I guess it's the Dolphins are still in a situation where they need to win their games and have, I guess, a few teams lose, but they just need to get, the Dolphins do need to win enough games to put them in a situation where they can capitalize on any losses from AFC East teams or AFC teams in general.
Unless the Bills are in a position where it's like a one and done, where they could win a game and the Dolphins get in the playoffs, you would never see me go for the Bills or the Paper Planes. I can't do it. The Chiefs could be undefeated at 9-0, and I still want them to beat the Bills because there's 6-7 other games that they could lose on the way to going undefeated. So I'm okay with that. Not only that, they could still lose in the playoffs. So I'm all right with that as well. So now I want the Chiefs to beat the Bills. And it's funny how LB had mentioned in our group chat, Tyler Bass can mess around and hit a walk-off 61-yard field goal on us, but he can't hit a dang chip shot extra point
insane
in a regular game. So it is what it is, bro. I don't like rooting for teams in our division.
Yeah. And again, so if you was at the Hippodrome tonight, shout out to everyone that was there. I was supporting a Colts win over the Paper Planes, but the Colts have the tiebreaker over the Dolphins, so I needed a Paper Planes win, but the Paper Planes couldn't even do that. So listen, while it's fun to watch the Paper Planes lose, you kind of needed them to beat the Colts because of the tiebreaker, but it's still irrelevant because the Dolphins need to win out basically, and they got the job done against the Raiders.
Hey, anything else before we're going to get into bonus time kind of early? We're not going into bonus time yet. You got something else you want to bring up? Because we got some game balls to give away on Patreon.
Yeah. So shout out to everyone that was like heading into the game, run the ball, feed Jalen Wright, all that kind of stuff. I love Jalen Wright. He's a great running back. But please tell me now at this point, you understand the reason why he wasn't getting a bunch of carries in week 1, 2, and 3, and I guess week 4 as well. He can't block. So when Jalen White is on the field, it's going to be a run play. And if I can see that on the source in London, then NFL defenses can see that. So, you know what? I will go back to Jalen White tonight. So, Jalen White, I'm not in Miami Dolphins. Let's have a look. Jalen White against the Raiders. 5 carries for 4 yards. And again, people could say, hey, feed him more. No, stop feeding Jalen White until we can learn to pass protect. Until then, I don't want to see him because it is so one-dimensional and there's not much you can do about it. So please tell me in week 12 we aren't still trying to call for Jalen White because it needs to stop.
I ain't gonna lie, for someone that's on the sauce, Kadeem, you have the presence of mind to say at the time of recording, you have the presence of mind to say a lot of other things that I'm like, yo, if you are the sauce, you should probably remember that you should say stuff like that. That's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what? Here's what I wanted to say. I have Anthony Richardson in all 4 of my fantasy football leagues. All 4. I dropped him in 3 fantasy football leagues because I didn't have him in one of them. So how I managed to get him back and all 4 of them is funny because everyone gave up on Anthony Richardson. And this is why I bring it up. Everybody's like, yo, why are you talking about the Colts quarterback? Because I knew the Colts put Anthony Richardson back in and said, bro, this is what we have to do with you. We have to run the quarterback. Like, you are a running quarterback and you give us the best chance to win with your legs. And if the Dolphins would have did that one time with Tyler Huntley, we would be up a game or 2 better than our record is right now. That's all I wanted. Power sweep right, power sweep left. Read option right, read option left. That's all I wanted, and it's working for the Colts now all of a sudden. And by the way, I started him in my important league. I just knew he was going to do it. I knew it. I knew he was going to do it. I had to start my dog. So actually, he's not my dog. He's not my dog.
Yeah, and also, who did you do it against?
The Paper Planes.
Yeah, that doesn't count as a game because they're trash. They are buns. They are awful. So well done to Richardson for beating one of the worst teams in the league. I will give you a 2-finger clap.
Hey, I'm starting them for the rest of the season.
I wish you nothing but success.
And since we're on fantasy football, I'll do this one, Kadeem. Don't worry about it. I hope y'all hit up Fantasy Game Day app for DFS sports in the UK because DraftKings is no longer in the UK. Fantasy Game Day app took over, and you can hit up Fantasy Game Day app using our promo code GTDFF. That's GTDFF on the Fantasy Game Day app for daily fantasy sports in the UK. Am I right, Kadeem?
You are 100% right. Charlie, I'm currently losing because my opponent has Tua at quarterback and I left Johnny Smith on my bench. I am fuming, but the Dolphins got the win. It is a great week to be a Dolphins fan, kind of. And we have 3 new people to enter the QB rankings list next year. Because at the Hippodrome, we had a very heated discussion about quarterbacks. Rankings from this year were brought up, were discussed. Shout out to Paul, Dom, and Robert Ashton. Next year's quarterback rankings list is going to be an elite episode. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose they mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose they mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no.
So, shout out to all the comments. Tim Caro says, not making the playoffs still. There will be a slip up somewhere, too much to make up. He says we aren't winning the East. I think everyone agrees with that. Robert Ashton agreed with you at some point, Charlie. Tim Caro says, Colts win is crazy. They announced they're out of the playoffs this week by starting Richardson, then go and win a game. Robert Ashton said the Seahawks are currently beating the 49ers as we record this. And then Tim Caro says to me, you benched Jonnu, weren't we now using him against a terrible team? You deserve the L. Listen, yeah, I guess I didn't bench Jonnu Smith. I hadn't started him in weeks because it is what it is.
Hey, hold on, Kadeem, you got a podcast called Go Time Dolphins?
I do, yes. We're on that. We are on Go Time Dolphins right now. So yes, I have a podcast.
Straight up, that's crazy because on your podcast, isn't there like a fantasy football segment where your co-host tells you who to start?
There is, yes.
And didn't he tell you to start Jonnu Smith this week?
So I'll tell you why I didn't start Jonnu Smith this week. And again, if I messed up, please do tell me. So I have. I am down bad. Wow. So I'm starting. Yeah. Okay. This is on me. Wow. So I've started Devontae Adams, got me 13.2 points. I probably should have started, or I couldn't have started Jonnu Smith over that. I basically started Travis Kelce over Jonnu Smith, and I paid the price for it. So
no. Who's in your flex though? Give me your your 2 receivers and your flex position.
So my 2 receivers were Devontae Adams and Scary Terry, and then in the flex I've got Tyreek Hill, which is why I've got Jonnu Smith on my bench.
I got to get this one. I think this is on you. I don't love Terry McLaurin. I like him as an actual player. Fantasy football, you can't trust that dude. And then Devontae, you can't trust Devontae. Not saying you should have started Jonnu over both of them, but it was a consideration. Like there should have been some thought. Like, hold on, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
So my thing with Hill was that he's been saying, start the train, start me, all that kind of stuff. But the Dolphins have turned to Waddle, so that's why I was like, he's in my flex, but I'm not trusting him too much. And again, even with Jonnu Smith, this has been a career game for him, like this week. But I kind of thought the Dolphins would trust Achane and Waddle over Jonnu Smith. So I think with every Jonnu Smith reception, I was like, with every Johnny Smith reception, I was like, this is great, this is amazing, but I didn't think it would go off that much. So shout out to Tim Cabo says the 49ers lost 20-17. Yeah.
Yeah. Geno Smith looking like the Geno Smith of Miramar High School, where I went to high school. Listen, you know what we need to get, Kadeem? We need that clip back. You know that Devon A-Chain clip, the Miami Dolphins select. Devon, I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. You got it? I think you took it down.
Don't do that.
Yeah, bro. I was looking for it.
Oh, don't do that.
I mean, it's a lot of stuff up here. I don't think we don't got it no more, bro. It's all right.
No, okay. If you give me 2 minutes, I will find it right now because that is
no.
No, I have it. Oh, don't do this.
See, this is the saucy Kadeem where I'm like, yo, we're trying to do a show here. We could just play it on the next episode.
No, because I know where it is. Like, this is. Why would I take it down for? This what
I imagine there was more stuff to put up. Like, there's a lot of DraftKings stuff up here.
Yeah, there's a lot of DraftKings stuff, but right. So this is going to be a next episode thing, and this is Saucy Kadeem talking to not Saucy Kadeem, going, "Why take it down for? That's just so stupid."
While we're recording this podcast, Buffalo's going on third down, 3rd and 2. They don't get it. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Buffalo's up 2, and KC looks like they may get the ball back with 2 minutes left. Let's see if Buffalo kicks this field goal.
So I can do that. I'm stupid. This is 100% Saucy Kadeem having a go at non-Saucy Kadeem going, there's certain things you should always have on tap, and that clip is always have it on tap, but I don't have it on tap.
We used to, but we don't have it no more. It's all right.
Yeah. Next episode, which I am going to assume is going to be the preview episode of the next game. Yeah, because due to life and other stuff, it's going to be a Friday episode. Kadeem solo previewing. Who we got next?
Patriots.
So yeah, likely look out for Kadeem solo episode of Patriots.
We got the Patriots in Miami. We got Green Bay at Green Bay on Thanksgiving, and then we got the Paper Planes in Miami. And none of them boys probably gonna. Oh no! Josh Allen just got jiggy and got in the box, and I'm playing against him on fantasy. I really didn't need that, bro. I didn't need that, dog. That hurt in so many ways. Like, the Dolphins didn't need it, and I didn't need it, bro. That is bad.
Shout out to Hooked Up Joe says almost, and I guess that's champagne time, or game time, but regardless, the Bills. Shout out to Tim Carroll. Tim Carroll was like, the Bills are going to beat the Chiefs, and it won't be close. And it kind of seems like that the Bills got the job done. I'm trying to do two things at once. I don't know where the A-Chan clip is. It's going to be somewhere on my computer, but I can't find it right now.
Let's get up out of here, man.
100%. Listen, Hooked Up Joe says 1972 makes it another year. Tim Carroll says best way to use your running quarterback. No point risking interception, just run him. 100%. Join us on Patreon for a Game Ball episode. And then, join me at some point this week for the Patriots preview. Shout out to everyone who joined us on the live. Shout out to everyone who joined us after the fact. The Dolphins got a dub. They moved to 4-6. And this has been one of the best episodes of Go Time Dolphins because it's just what we do. Until the next time, we shall see you soon. Peace.